What's up, guys? This is Jason from Jason&Jabari Gaming, and today I wanted to go over Variant 1 Ultron's Assault 3.3. And basically I wanted to initially test out my Odin with Ihulk, because in this path, for you guys who don't know or unfamiliar with Variant, you can only bring in specific classes for specific chapters. So this is essentially the last chapter, the hardest path. Well, maybe not the hardest path per se, that's just subject to I guess your roster and your own interpretation of how you play the game. But it is a challenging path in my opinion, as well as they have some pretty decent health pools. So what I'm doing right now is I'm showing you guys the Synergy Asgardian team that I brought in, which kind of comes into play. Some of the synergies, others don't really matter, and as we go along I'll get more into it. Earlier you saw my Ihulk, who will basically take on this entire path by himself. We'll see if he makes it or not, and if it's viable for you guys, because that's pretty much the key. Is this a viable option for people who have not yet completed this? Because back in the day, Variant 1 was very, very hard. So my Ihulk is Signature 200, if you saw earlier, and we're going to go with this Pilfer regeneration path, and basically let's take a closer look at what that means. So real quick, alright, now it's basically any buffs have 20% chance to be nullified, and regen buffs have basically a greater chance. Okay, as you can tell, Ihulk plays around that because his regen is passive, and also with the Heimdall synergy, when you hold your block for a second and a half, it's an instantaneous regen. So there's two workarounds that. Now it can nullify the what is it, Fury buff potentially, and that may or may not happen. I don't really remember, but yeah. So we have two workarounds. So first up is Vision right here, and basically we're just trying to dance with Vision. He gets power gain every few seconds, so we have to be mindful of that because we don't want to push him to red. And during this fight, I'm just basically trying to build up Gamma. And I am not the best Ihulk player. If you're looking for the most optimal Ihulk player there is out there, in my opinion, that would be Buddy Lee. He's a 4 Lokian, and he's amazing with Ihulk, in my opinion. I'm pretty decent with most of the champs I have. I'm still learning like everyone else, but I just wanted to kind of give you guys an option in case you weren't aware. So the next option that we have is Wasp, and this is where Odin comes into play. I gave him basically all of Odin's buffs. The Stormbreaker basically gives him 90% shock resistance, which is what I wanted to test out against the boss, as well as Wasp. So basically he should be healing from her shock, and then he can't take, I think he takes cap damage with one of Odin's buffs. So that was really helpful. We lost a lot of health on the last fight, but that's basically what Ihulk's about. So we're at 100 Gamma, and right now we're just trying to bait. I'm hitting into her block a little bit so I don't get backed up in the corner. I thought she was going to evade at this point, but so far she has not. And the fights don't take very long with Ihulk. He hits really, really hard. And we have a 10% stun duration bonus due to one of the synergies, and there I get smacked. As you can tell, I'm not really taking any damage, but I thought I was going to be healing, but I'm actually taking the same exact amount that I am healing for. So that's neutral's fine. It's not the biggest deal in the world. Here I'm on cooldown. I'm trying to build up Gamma charges. I say let me go for it real quick because she has a small health pool. So I'm doing mediums real quick, and then I go into a L1. I thought I had that, but apparently I was too slow on that. So now I'm like, okay, let me back up. She didn't smack me because she could have killed me there. So Grateful that she didn't. Then we go back in. Since I don't have that regen coming back up for another, it looks like 20 seconds, I just kind of play it safe. I get smacked, but the Heimdall synergy comes in clutch. I say, let me go for it real quick, and she is down. Okay, so we have 33 Gamma, not too bad. We could have played way better, but that's how we played, so it is what it is. So we're going to continue going forth on this path. I'm kind of OCD about collecting things like that, so I just hurry up and grabbed it. Next is Omega Red. He's significantly easier than Wasp because there's no evade. It's just a straight up fight. The only thing you have to worry about with Omega Red is his death spores. So once those get to 10, you start degenerating your health. I don't know what happened there. I think because I caused myself to go immortal on my heavy attack, which is fine. We gained some health, and I don't think I'll need it really for Omega. I'm gonna pretty much try to stay without getting 10 spores on me. There I got to 9 as you saw, then I backed off, and I'm pretty much just going to try to continuously bait his special one. So this fight, essentially, I would recommend just building up Gamma if you're going to use Ihulk, and that's what I pretty much do the entire time I'm building up Gamma. Now note on his special 3, you don't lose any health, and I did a heavy attack to double his Gamma, which, I mean, it was only like 4 or something like that, so it wasn't a big deal. But you do want to try and throw a heavy, double your Gamma when you throw off your special 3 because it does more damage. So not too bad, still looking pretty good. He's going down slowly but surely. There you see a lot of stuns. They don't last very long, but that extra 10% does help. Trust me, it will come in handy. It saved me a few times when I just decided to go for it. So there I accidentally pushed him to a special 2, and I think that had something to do with Pilfer because he just gained a lot of power. So I'm like, okay, well, it's time to go for it, right? So there you can see I ended it with a heavy, but just in case, for good measure, I threw the SP1, which should have finished him anyway. So we're moving up to Nightcrawler, and Nightcrawler is an annoying champ due to his evade mechanic. The way I like to try to play Nightcrawler is I attempt to wait till he dashes back, and then I try to hit into his block. And that timer that you see, which I almost had him switch modes, the other mode does not hit. I think it's he's in his Neurophone mode. I'm sorry, I'm butchering that name. And then he has another mode that does not allow him to evade. So that's the mode that I'm trying to get him into. Not being very successful at it right now, so I'm like, okay, well, at least I can parry. That's not really a problem. I don't have very much Gamma, but I'm backed up in the corner, as you see. There I intercept him real quick. So now I'm like, okay, crap, what should I do? Because I'm about to run out of life for a second, and we're still not able to switch him. So at this point, I'm just kind of like, all right, you know what? Let's just start to go for it. I'm a very impatient person, guys. I would not personally recommend being very impatient. I give it a little more patience, but sometimes it just kind of works out for you. So this is me going for it. We had a lot of stuns on him. He's down health. We ended up dropping him within a matter of what, 10 seconds or something like that. So that was good. And now we're going to veer off the path. I didn't really feel like dealing with Killmonger because of the damage back. So we veered over to this, I forgot what these things are called, Ultron Drone. That's what they're called. And it has Spite, which doesn't really matter because they only have a cap of 2 bars. So it doesn't really matter if he gets to the special 2 or not. There I blocked, and it automatic. I didn't have a lot of health, I guess, at all. So there goes that. But I went unblockable and stuff, so I was like, okay, cool. Let's just go ahead and do as much damage to him as possible, because the special 2 really won't do too much of anything to me. So we have him in the corner and we're just wailing away. I don't know if I just went for it the entire time. I think I did, yeah. So that's another thing with Ihulk. If you can get those stuns racked up and you can just corner lock them, you can flail away and their health will just melt. So that was one good thing. And guys, I'm doing this on my main account, so keep that in mind. I don't have a second account or a beta account or any of that stuff. I do all this with my own resources and stuff like that. So if I don't complete a challenge and I tell you that you can do it, just trust and believe that you can. But my resources, I kind of need like everyone else. So if I'm able to utilize them in a fun way like this to educate everyone or help someone out, great. But just understand that I do use my own resources. So here we're on Heimdall, and the name of this game is to bait his special 1. That's what I am going to attempt to do. His special 2 is unblockable, so I didn't want to deal with that. I think he has Spite as well. I'm not sure, but I had it in my mind that I was going to bait his special 1 as much as possible and build up Gamma. So this is another ramping up for Gamma fight for actually Hulk, the OG Hulk, on the next fight. So there we are. So far we're still baiting special 1s, and so far it's working out pretty well. He has that auto block mechanic, which is fine because you don't get parried on their auto block when you're dealing with the game, which is a good thing because that could be annoying. So the worst thing they're going to do is just block your attacks. So it didn't really bother me any. Other than that, I got to the special 3 to throw it off, and the special 3 automatically gives you 15 Gamma. And again, the name of the game for me at this point is to build up as much Gamma as possible for the upcoming fights. He's really close to a special 2, but he throws it, which is really good. He auto blocks, so I'm like, okay, well, let me parry and hit him again. So the plan is actually working out relatively well. We don't want to push him over, so we're just kind of backing up, trying to bait that special 1. He's being a little stingy at the moment, but I have a feeling he's going to throw it at some point. There he goes. So now we're back to hitting him, and I'm making sure I do my BDMs to gain that Gamma. We're at 41, which is not bad. Preferably I would like to be at 70 if possible. It doesn't look like I'm going to get there, but that's just a comfort level for me personally. With Ihulk, I like to be around 70% or so health wise, but 45 is fine as well, especially if you know what you're doing with Ihulk. It's not a big deal. Here I actually do go for it, and we'll see if that pans out or not, which it does. And I think we got to about 63. So like I said, Ihulk can be really beneficial in certain situations. There I felt comfortable enough to go for it because I thought the amount of health he had I could drop when I was correct. So I'm at 60 Gamma. Now I made a mistake on this fight, guys, and I'm not going to survive it. I haven't done this in a while, and I guess I misread Aspect of War, because basically you got like 50 seconds before they become unblockable. And that's fine. I figured 50 seconds with the 268,000 health, I can drop him within less than a minute, right? So I'm like, okay, this is no big deal. The problem that I ran into was I pushed him to a special 3. And then what I didn't realize is any special that he throws, he'll go passively unblockable. Or I'm sorry, passively unstoppable for a few seconds. And in my mind, he had went unblockable, and I was like, crap. So I was thinking that was over at that point, and I think I tried to attack into him while he was attacking into me, and it didn't go well towards the end. But here, as you can see, I am smacking this dude. He is going down really, really fast. We are nowhere near a minute yet, and I thought at this point I would have had him. I don't know how that SP1 did not connect, to be honest with you, but here obviously he claps me and I'm like, okay, no big deal. I'm still alive. And then there it was the mistake. So he goes unblockable, as you see, which I thought, and then he was still unstoppable. So that was my mistake. Obviously I wasn't redoing this because it uses up too many resources, but I dropped him. And then I moved on to the last fight, which is what I wanted to see if Odin's buff could withstand the EMP modification. And this fight goes extremely fast, guys. Here is your answer for my testing. This was a really fast fight, so don't blink. Here we go. Okay, so the short answer basically is no, but viable options for this Ultron boss would be Thing, Silver Surfer, or Corvus. You also don't need Odin. I would take the Asgardian team, but Odin is not necessary, and you can replace him with one of those options that I just mentioned. But I had a lot of fun making this. I'm going to make some more. If you guys have any suggestions or if I left anything out, please let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for stopping by, and thanks for watching.